Hi everyone, this is Curt Frye, and in this movie, I'd like to show you some interesting and useful ways to manage worksheets in your Excel workbooks. I have opened my sample file, and I'm on sheet 1, and the first thing I want to do is hide the sheet tabs and the scroll bars for this particular workbook. And the reason that I want to do that is I assume that I have something like a kiosk application. In other words, I want the people who use it to be able, at least easily, to do what's in front of them, but not to do anything else. Obviously, if you're an experienced Excel user, you know that you can get around most of these things, but I want to show you how to make things at least a little bit harder and keep people on track for what it is you want them to do. So the scroll bars are the vertical scroll bar here and horizontal scroll bar here. And then the sheet tabs, I have sheet 1 and sheet 2 down at the bottom. So if I want to hide those, I can go to the File tab, then down to Options. And then from here, I want to go to the Advanced page of the Excel Options dialog box. Now I'll scroll a bit more than halfway down. And I have display options for this workbook. So here I can clear the checkbox next to anything that I don't want to appear. So I will go ahead and clear horizontal scroll bar, vertical scroll bar, and sheet tabs. And when I click OK and come back, you can see that the scroll bar and also the sheet tabs are missing. Now I can still move around in the workbook if I want to. So for example, I can scroll to the right using the right arrow key and back with the left, and of course down using the down arrow key. And if you know the keyboard shortcut to move from one worksheet to another, then you can use that. That is Control Page down to move to the next tab to the right on the sheet tabs, or on the tab bar, and then Control Page up will move you back up. So those are still available, but at least you have to know how to do that to be able to move around. Other things that you can change, including the default number of worksheets that appear when you create an Excel workbook, and also the number of workbooks that appear in the recently used list. To make those changes, we'll go back to the Excel Options dialog box. So I'll click File, and then Options. And then on the general page, which appeared for me here the first time, I can change how many sheets appear. In older versions of Excel, you used to have 3 sheets as the default, but so many people changed it from 3 to 1 that Microsoft made 1 the default. So you can add as many sheets as you like. I'm sure there's a limit, but I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. So just change the value in the include this many sheets control, and in this case, I'll just keep it at 1, but you can see how to do it if you want to. You can also control the number of recent workbooks that appear, and this is at various places in Microsoft Excel. So for that, I will go to the Advanced page, and I'll scroll down to the Display section. This is about halfway down. There we go. And you can show this number of recent workbooks. In this case, I put it all the way up to 50. I don't think that's the maximum. Let me see if the Info button gives us any maximum information. Nope, try clicking it, nothing happened. So we have this number of recent workbooks, which appears in the File menu and also in Backstage View. And then you can also show the most recent folders that you've used, and I have also changed that to 50. And as always, you can find the settings that work best for you over time. So I'll go ahead and click Cancel. And the last thing I like to show you is how to limit the scroll area on a worksheet. So let's say that I have this application here, this worksheet, and I only want individuals to be able to scroll all the way over to the bottom right corner, which is in E9. So basically anything from E9 up to A1 is fine, but I don't want them going beyond that. You used to be able to define a scroll area using worksheet protection. So for that, you would go to the Review tab, and then you would click Protect Sheet. And here you could indicate what you wanted to protect on the worksheet. So you could allow users to select lock cells, unlock cells, but everything else would be turned off unless you allowed it. And of course, you could also turn off selecting lock cells and set a password. In this dialog box, there used to be a scroll area setting that you could use, but unfortunately, that has been taken away. So I'll go ahead and click Cancel. There is a way that you can do it, but you have to use Excel VBA. So I will show you how to do that now. To open the Visual Basic Editor, press Alt F11 and then create a general code module. It would be tempting to create a module or to add this code within the worksheet, for example, sheet 1, which is the one we want to limit, but in this case it wouldn't work, and that's because we're using an older technique. So I'll go up to the Insert menu and click Module, and I will call it Sub Auto Open as the name of our subroutine. And the code that we'll use to set the scroll area for worksheet 1, which is the worksheet currently named sheet 1. So I'll have worksheets 1, period, scroll area, equals, and then in double quotes, A1, 2, and then I'm going to go back to, see here, E9. A1 to E9. All right, that looks good, but now I need to save the workbook as a macro-enabled workbook. So I'll press Alt F11 to move back, and then I'll go to File and Save As. Got it. So there I have everything here. I'm actually going to browse to make sure that I stay in the same place. Save to my computer. So here I am in exercise files, and I will change to macro-enabled workbook. So this will allow the macro that I just created to run. So I'll click Save. There's my file. Now I will close it, which I need to do because auto open runs when the workbook opens. So I'll click Close, and you can see all the stuff I have going on my desktop. And I'll make sure that I open the macro-enabled workbook, which is here, .xlsm. And I open it. Macros have been disabled. That's because of my security settings. So I'll go ahead and click Enable Content. And I have my workbook set and ready to go. And because I ran my auto open macro, you'll see that while I can use the arrow keys to move within the A1 to E9 range, I'm not able to go beyond it. And all that is because of the auto open macro. Auto open is left over from an older macro language that was around in Excel 4, and it's been kept until now for backward compatibility.